Hello folks, today I'd like to showcase my build that I've been playing for Heist. It's an Ice Shot of Penetration Ballista Raider, and the build basically uses the Ahuana's Quiver to get big chills on the enemy and increase damage taken, and then freeze proliferation gloves to kind of freeze everything around you as you walk through the heist. And the idea here was that I was going to use cheap entry uniques and make a build that anybody could start heisting with a very small investment. And so basically the core items that are required for the build come out to less than a div. And so let's go through some of the ideas here. As I'll display some footage in the background so you can kind of see what the build is like. All right, so first things first, we're using the Ahuana's Bite. This quiver gives you enemies chilled by your hits have damage taken increased by chill effect. Chill effect and PoE goes up to 30%, so that's 30% more damage taken if you can reach the max chill. And then chill enemies as though dealing 92% more damage, so then our chills are hitting quite a bit harder with this quiver as well. However, with Ice Shot of Penetration has 280% base attack damage, which is very high, and it also has a line that says chills enemies as though dealing 195% more damage. So this combo of the Ice Shot of Penetration and the Ahuana's Quiver makes it so that we're pretty much guaranteeing max chills all the time, and that really helps us a lot. So that's the first item. That item runs about 5C, and you can get like a double corrupt one with nicer stats on it for like 30C if you wanted to. Next thing we have freeze proliferation gloves. Now, to get this mod on any old pair of gloves, you're looking at like 5-10C. If you want to get them on a nicer like evasion base, you're looking at 30 or 40C. And yeah, that's basically all you need on those gloves. And then if you want to scale them up higher later on, you can get the physical damage conversion on there. Then the next item that's core to the build is Wilma's Requital. This is again like a 5C unique, super cheap. And it increases and reductions to cast speed applied to attack speed. And because we are a raider, we double dip on this, and we get a lot of attack and cast speed from it. Alright, so next let's take a look at the other items in the build. So let's start off with the bow here. This is just a rare bow. You're looking for big physical damage and cold damage mods, attack speed, and accuracy. You need the accuracy on there because we're going precise technique. It doesn't have to be this high of DPS. This right now is 857, but you don't need to have that much. In fact, you don't really need much damage at all because with Heist, you just need to like hit the thing, chill it, freeze it, and move on. So you don't need an extreme level of DPS. This is just kind of like after I've been heisting, I've been upgrading this gear, but you don't need that at all. The gloves I already kind of explained. Basically, you want to get one that has the Prolif, and then the other mods that you kind of need on it are the Cold Convert. However, you can get the 40% Cold Convert on the tree at the beginning for like the budget version, and then once you get these like the convert implicit, then you can swap off the tree and you can get a different mastery, and you can get the Frostbite mastery for the cold mastery, which is really good too. All right, so then for rings, you're basically looking for cast speed because cast speed turns into attack speed. Chaos res, any other res you need to cap out your resistances. Life and mana, and I would say on at least 2 pieces of gear, you're going to want to have the non-channeling skills have -7 to total mana cost on it. I'll just kind of hover these here so you can see what I have. I would anoint Harrier because it gives you attack and cast speed, which we double dip on, and movement speed. The other option is I think coordinated or something. Coordination. This one has more damage and it has some dex and int on it. So if that's something that you need, this one could be worthwhile, but this one is better for clear speed. All right, our Wilmas, I like to get the cannot be blinded on there because we're using precise technique, so that helps us not have our accuracy lowered. Belt, you're looking at getting strength rolls on there so that you can get higher level gems for your Warcry and your Steel Skin. And I think there's another one too. That's basically it. But it is nice to get those two things up a little bit because they help with survivability. And then the other stats you want here, finish off your resistances. If you can get flask effect or flask duration on here, that would be really good too. LE damage with attacks is also a nice stat. For boots, we're looking at Zeri's Step. This is just for the spell suppress chance. This has the most spell suppress chance in the game for a boot, so this is pretty much a no-brainer. Helps us cap out really easy, saves us some skill points. And then lastly, we have Ahuana's Bite. This one has a double corrupt with percent of Fizz's extra cold damage, which is a big damage boost. And it also has flat added cold, which is, again, a big damage boost. For flasks, I'm returning a life flask with corrupted blood immunity, because that's the one thing that can get kind of sketchy. Then I like a granite with some evasion rating stuff on it. If you can get movement speed, that's good too for clear. Anything with movement speed, reduced charge usage, or cast speed is good, because the cast speed turns into attack speed. Taking a Jade Flask and a Stibnite Flask. Alright, so that's basically it for gear outside of like jewels. Actually, I'll look at the jewels real quick here. We're going to use the Transcendent Spirit here. Basically, this just converts the dex that's allocated into movement speed, which we need for the heist running. If you look right now at my... so I've got 154 movement speed modifier without any of my buffs up. If I take it off, it's 135. So that's a pretty solid amount of... yeah, it's a pretty solid amount of movement speed. And because this one's not allocated, I get a little tiny bit of accuracy off of it too. Then the other thing here I've got is a Watcher's Eye. Now, there's a couple of different Watcher's Eye you could use. I like the one with the Unaffected by Enfeeble on it, because, and Temp Chains. Those two things are probably the most annoying curses. Enfeeble especially, because it screws up our precise technique. But Temp Chains is just like annoying for heist in general, so that's a good one to get as well. Alright, so now that we're here at the skill tree, I'll kind of just go through that real quick. Basically, we're taking Charisma and the Aura effect here. We're taking all of the movement speed that we can get. So movement speed here, movement speed here. Again, we're taking a lot of these extra nodes here just for the movement speed. Even though it's not quite as efficient as it could be, like getting these extra nodes actually are good for us because they're giving us the movement speed. Then we're coming up here for Life and Ellie Pen. Taking our Pierce. I've just got one extra point in here for this spell suppress as a cap, but if I had better rolls, I could get rid of this and get some more life. Accuracy. You need your accuracy to be above your life amount. So right now, I've got 5,600. So I'm pretty significantly above, and that helps that like if I get my accuracy dropped a little bit by something, that I have a little bit of a buffer zone. We're taking the extra Ballista here, and 5% of damage from hits taken from your totem instead of you. That's just good survivability. Flask effect duration here is no-brainer. We've got increased AoE. This is really good for not just like spreading around the relief, but also for having our cone from our ice shot hit like a wider area. Life. Onslaught effect because we're Raider. Let me look at the masteries here real quick. We have perma uptime on Onslaught and perma phasing here, and chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing, this is all so nice. Yeah, not much to say here. This double dips because of the Wilma's Helm, and then we get, anytime we get Onslaught effect, we basically double dip on that as well, so it's a super value stat. Banks of Frost for Ellie Pen. Then we take this cluster here so we can get the mana reservation efficiency. We take this one here because this is a really insane mastery for defense. Then we take our Totem cluster. This gives us a lot of armor, so that's a really good value node. This Art of the Gladiator helps us with movement speed because we get to ignore movement speed penalties. And then just some life and mana here. So that's pretty much it for the tree. I'll go show the gems real quick. The main setup here is Ice Shot of Penetration. Hypothermia. This is good because everything's always chilled, so it's up 100% of the time. Ellie damage with attacks is just pretty standard for Ellie hit-based ally attack builds. Bone Chill, now this one is interesting. So Bone Chill makes it so enemies have damage taken as the chill effect, just like the Ahuanas does, but it stacks with the Ahuanas, and that's 30%. But there's also 14% more cold damage in here, so this is actually like a 44% more damage gem, which is really good. Then we have added cold. Now this one is good for heist, the like flat added damage. But if I was doing like bossing, I would swap this out for cold pen. And then Ballista totem support is mandatory. Obviously, you need it for the totems. And level 21 is helpful because it makes your totems not die as fast. All right, then we have an automation support here. We've got Phase Run, Steel Skin, and Life Tap. This makes it so that our automation is constantly proccing Phase Run. Now, Phase Run, what it does is it gives you a big boost of movement speed, 49% increase in this case. And we have a Mana Forged Arrows and Frenzy set up here to get us more Frenzy charges. That helps fuel the Phase Run and keeps the Phase Run up 100% of the time. Because every time we drop a Ballista here, you can see the thing is shooting out. And that just helps us gain enough Frenzies to sustain the Phase Run. And then Steel Skin. This is just for like removal of bleed, basically, but also it gives a little bit of damage mitigation. All right, then I also have a Call to Arms Enduring Cry setup with increased duration. This is just to get a little bit of endurance charges every once in a while and give me a boost of life regen. All right, then we have a Dash, Frostbite, Life Tap support set up here. Basically, this is just for mobility, right? Dash just to get over things when you need it and to dodge like sketchy things. Dash has like the lowest cast time in the game, so it's the best for like movement speed style builds where you're not building cast speed. Although I have a lot of cast speed in this build anyway, so I probably could use something else. Frostbite is just for like the rares. Like if you're like near a rare, you just throw Frostbite on them. Helps them be frozen more often and gives you some extra damage. All right, and then the rest is basically just auras. So we've got Clarity, Haste, Grace, Precision, and that's it. So yeah, that's the build. Let me know what you think. Basically, just run around, throw down your totems, freeze prolif everything, get your loot, and get out. Thanks, guys. If you like the build, like and subscribe, and see you next time.